guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you are having a great day so far. So fall is right around the corner. I'm really personally excited about that because I'm not a summer girl. I wish I was. It's just not my thing. I am getting so excited for the temperatures to start cooling down. I live in Oregon. September is actually still usually quite warm where I live. So I think I have a few more weeks before the rain and the cooler weather really starts rolling in here. But I absolutely love the season of fall, especially here in Oregon. It's absolutely beautiful. The trees turning colors, the rain coming back, the weather cooling down, everything kind of just smelling a lot more earthy outside. Yeah, I love this time of year. I am a huge avid like personal fragrance fan. So one of the videos that I for sure wanted to share with you guys were my favorite smells for the fall, and smells in terms of perfumes. So I compiled a list of 8 different fragrances. I tried to keep it to 5. And then as I was going through and writing down all of the fragrance notes, just making some notes to myself, I realized that actually one of these is discontinued. So I guess this is more of like a top 7 with a bonus, because I think a lot of you might actually have this particular perfume in your collection already. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of you are maybe using it during the spring and summer, but to me, it has always felt like just a beautiful option for the fall time. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking you guys through my picks today. It was really hard to narrow this down. Honestly, I could have probably easily had 15 suggestions for you guys. So you're gonna notice a theme here as we go through. For fall personal fragrance, I really tend to lean towards warm, spicy. I love patchouli. I love those like ambery, spicy fragrances. I think they make me feel just very cozy. I think that they are great date night fragrances, but a lot of these I wear during the day. They're a lot more heavy and probably a little bit more oppressive than maybe what some people would choose for a daytime fragrance, but I don't know, I love these, like I said, heavy, spicy fragrances. As I go through them, of course, I will list and link them all in the description box right below this video. So if you want to know where to purchase these, read up other people's reviews, all of that kind of stuff, check that description box. I always make sure to fill that out for you. I've got my notes here. Let's go through all of these. Now, all of these except for one are from cruelty-free brands. I personally, if I am ever purchasing a fragrance for myself, it has to come from a cruelty-free brand. That is very important to me. However, I do still receive gifts from friends and family. And a lot of people like to get me perfumes or body sprays, things like that, because they know I just enjoy this kind of stuff, right? Like I am always the person that walks into the room smelling ridiculous. Like I'm always wearing perfumes at family gatherings. And so I think people generally know me as someone who enjoys personal fragrance. So a lot of times I will receive perfumes as gifts for birthdays or special occasions, Christmas, things like that. And some of them are from non-cruelty free brands. So I did not pay for these or this one that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. I did not purchase this one myself. It was a gift, but I do recognize that a lot of you don't necessarily stick to being cruelty free, and I don't make any judgments, by the way, about that. I think it's a very personal decision to choose whether you purchase from cruelty free brands or not. You know, I'm going to leave that up to you, but I did want to let you know that outside of the very first one that I'm going to be sharing, all of these other brands are cruelty free. And typically if I can try to steer someone towards an amazing cruelty free option, I would rather do that. So I have a number of non-cruelty free perfumes in my collection. And on the weeks during my Friday faves, typically where you don't see me sharing a perfume, that means that the perfume that I was wearing that week was probably not cruelty free. And if I can avoid like advertising those fragrances, it makes me feel a little bit better about it, but I decided to make an exception for this video. So there's the little disclaimer. Okay, we're gonna get started. This very first one is from Gucci. Gucci does not have cruelty-free fragrances. They're not a cruelty-free company. So this is the Gucci Guilty Absolute Parfum. My French is not super great, so just bear with me on the names of, well, most of these I can pronounce. So, all right, so Gucci Guilty Absolute Parfum. This, when I first smelled this, I thought, wow, this is so spicy. I love this. I had no idea this particular fragrance existed, because typically when I go to smell perfumes at like Sephora, at Ulta, I tend to stick to the cruelty-free brands. So I'd never smelled this, but wow, is this a gorgeous fragrance, you guys. It is heavy, it's warm, it's woody, it's seductive. It's really, really a beautiful fragrance. It is one of those ones where I would recommend applying it sparingly. I think it can certainly walk into the room well before you do. And if you like that type of fragrance, let me tell you, this is the one to pick up for sure. So your top notes in this particular fragrance are blackberry, pink pepper, and bergamot. Your mid notes are cypress, Bulgarian rose, woody, and vetiver. And your bottom notes here are Indian patchouli and amber. You're really gonna notice that a lot of my recommendations here are heavy on the amber, they are heavy on the woody notes, and they're heavy on the spicy and patchouli notes. Those are the fragrances that I just naturally gravitate towards. Like I said, heavier, seductive, romantic, more oppressive type fragrances. Those are definitely my vibe. This one is beautiful because it's a really nice mix of like a fruity, you've got that blackberry in there, you've got that rose in there, you've got that beautiful patchouli and amber that just kind of warms everything up. This is absolutely gorgeous, and it's one that I wish I didn't love this. But if I can ever find a dupe for this from a company like Dossier or some of those other dupe companies, I would absolutely purchase it. This is heavenly, and if you've never sought it out and you don't necessarily care about the cruelty-free status, check this one out. It is so, so lovely. Up next, speaking of Dossier, I have their Woody Chestnut here. Now this, oh man, you guys, I love this so much. Woody Chestnut is Dossier's dupe of Maison Margiela by the Fireplace. I love that scent. I have loved it for a long time, but Maison Margiela is not cruelty-free. I love that I was able to pick this up from Dossier. It smells so incredibly close to the real thing. Honestly, I have tried one on one wrist and then gone to Sephora, put the real thing on the other, and I could not tell them apart when I was wearing them. I think if you're smelling them in the container, sometimes you can pick up some subtle differences, but on me, they wore exactly the same. The top notes here are pink pepper. We've got that pink pepper again, the orange blossom and cloves. Your middle notes are chestnut. I think it's guaiac wood. I know, just don't. My pronunciations are not going to be perfect, bear with me. Cade wood. Your base notes are vanilla, Peru balsam, and cedar wood. This is absolutely heavenly. It really does smell like a high-end hearth type fragrance. You really smell those like charred wood notes in here. And there's a sweetness. It really does smell like there's some marshmallow in here somewhere. It's absolutely beautiful, and if you love the By the Fireplace, you can get this for less than half the price of that one. So check out Dossier. They have absolutely fantastic dupes, and I love them. All right, up next, I just shared this recently in Friday Favorites and Flops, and it's so good, you guys. This is Ellis Brooklyn Raven. This is another warm, spicy, ambery scent. And boy, do I love this one. If you also like the Bastide Ombre Marquis, check out Raven. They are, I think of them as sister fragrances. There's some differences between the two, but they are very, very similar. So Raven, I would consider like a warm, spicy, but floral. But it's mostly amber more than anything else. Your notes here are musk, patchouli, there's that patchouli again, peony, rhubarb, blonde woods, and pink lotus. So again, you have that mix of the amber with those beautiful florals, and it's the amber that gives it that beautiful, warm, comforting, slightly spicy scent. And the patchouli in here, again, it doesn't smell like that classic dirty hippie patchouli. It's just warm and inviting. A much more refined patchouli. Like, it's not quite as earthy. We have to have a vanilla in here somewhere because your girl loves her some vanilla. And here I have the absolutely gorgeous Skylar Vanilla Sky. If you love caramel, if you love vanilla, if you love cappuccino, you gotta get this. It's a warm, not spicy, but just a warm gourmand. It is so, like, you just feel like you are enveloped in this like cloud of fluffy vanilla with that beautiful cappuccino note. It really smells like you could eat this. Don't spray it in your mouth, it's gross. Have you ever like not had your mouth closed while you were spraying this area here and got a mouth, so don't do that. But this is absolutely delightful. The lasting power on these Skylar fragrances aren't like the best, but I don't think they're atrocious, but these are definitely not my longest lasting fragrances. Right now, Sephora has a really great set where you can get the full size and the roller ball of this fragrance for just the price of this. That's what I'll probably link down below for you guys because it's just a great deal. But you can also just buy the roller ball sizes. I mean, most of these you should be able to get a roller ball size of if you're not looking for a full size option. I absolutely love this one. I think it's a must. All right. I have another really great brand for you guys here. This is the Seven Virtues. Now, it was really tempting to also bring in the Vanilla Woods in here because that's like my holy grail from them. But I decided to opt for the Blackberry Lily instead. And you'd think, just based off of the name, that I would recommend this for more of like a spring summer type fragrance. This is, again, a warm, spicy, fruity floral, and I love this one. This is so pretty, you guys. I originally just bought this in like their smaller like spray bottle size. It's like a rollerball type bottle, but it has a nice sprayer on it. And as soon as I got home and tried that fragrance on myself, I went back the very next day and I bought the full size bottle as well. So if that tells you something, as soon as I tried this and wore it, it just got more beautiful throughout the day, I think, as my body kind of warmed it up periodically. Ooh, so your notes in here are blackberry, lily of the valley, geranium, cassis, rose, caramel, and amber. So once again, we have that amber tying everything together, bringing those florals into a much more like romantic type vibe than just really beautiful, fresh kind of summer florals. This is heavier, it's slightly spicier, but the blackberry, I think, makes it maybe a slightly lighter option to some of these other fragrances here. And lighter is, it's pretty relative. Okay, the rest of these are from Nest. I love Nest perfumes. I think that Laura Slatkin has an incredible nose. Her and her husband both certainly are in the fragrance industry and they know what they're doing. But Laura's perfumes have been some of my favorites for a number of years. Black Tulip is one of my, well, no, Golden Nectar is my newest one from her. But before that, Black Tulip was one that I was really starting to get into. Ooh, and again, we have a warm floral here. So your notes are black amber plum, pink pepper again, Japanese violet, patchouli, and then some black cherry. This is a lovely mix of floral, fruity, and then like warm spiciness. This is definitely heavier on the florals than it is on the spicy, but this to me also screams cooler weather months. Like this is the type of fragrance that I love to wear during the day on like a rainy fall day. It's just kind of a nice pick-me-up. And these bottles are absolutely, I mean, I'm a sucker for packaging, period. And I love really simple packaging. I love really ornate packaging. I love everything in between. I think perfume bottles are just absolutely stunning. But I love these beautiful old botanical prints that Laura uses as the backdrop for all of her fragrances. This one just has these beautifully ruffly tulips. Beautiful. Such a gorgeous scent. Okay, and then these next two. Okay, I did not realize that Midnight Fleur was being discontinued by Nest, and that really makes me sad because Midnight Fleur has been one of my favorites from them forever. I actually have Midnight Fleur in a candle. I just love this one, and I'm tempted to try to find it at, you know, some other retailers. It's not even on the Nest website anymore. I couldn't find it at Sephora, so that just bums me out. But if you have this in your collection still, grab this one for the fall. This is the one that I thought a lot of people would probably choose to wear during the spring and summer as like a great like evening date night type fragrance. But I think this makes a perfect fall fragrance. Here again, we're going with a woody, warm, spicy type fragrance. The notes in here are jasmine, vanilla orchid, exotic woods, black amber, and patchouli. Again, I think it's that patchouli that turns this into a fall fragrance for me. It's just so, and I feel like I've said this a ton, but these all just evoke this feeling of warmth and coziness and just wanting to like cuddle up by a fire, read a book, stay in, just enjoy the season from inside your warm, cozy house. Like those are the vibes that I get from all of these fragrances. Now, since Midnight Fleur is discontinued, I will say Indigo from Nest. I only have it in this small size here right now, but I will be purchasing the full size once I finish this. Indigo is another warm, spicy scent. This has notes of lemon, orange, bergamot, Moroccan tea, cashmere woods, and figs. Now, this is one that I think is actually kind of a nice year-round type fragrance. I think this would actually be lovely in the spring and summer as well, especially with those lemon and orange notes that are in here. Definitely very evocative of like, you know, summertime. But I also think with the addition of like the tea notes that are in here and those cashmere wood notes, this is also a great maybe transitional scent into maybe some of these heavier fragrances for later on in the fall. This is gorgeous. This one is not discontinued. I hope they don't ever do away with this one. I couldn't believe it when I saw that Midnight Fleur was discontinued. But I mean, obviously not everyone keeps everything in their lines for all eternity. So I'm glad that I have this bottle, and I am tempted to pick up another one as a backup, but quite honestly, am I gonna get through it before I finish this one and then the other one starts to go bad? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm really sad that it's going away. Anyway, I would love to know what maybe your top 3 perfume picks are for the fall colder weather months. Leave them down below in the comments, and hopefully everyone can get inspired to maybe change up your fragrance and yeah, find a new signature for each. I think everyone should have a signature fragrance just across the board. But I also think it's nice to have like a couple of signature fragrances for each season as well. So thanks so much for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe if you are new, and give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.